time outside of the ring leads to Jared getting in trouble. It's happened multiple times in the past couple of years. You got to get him back in the gym.
Welcome into Boxing Scene's top stories on ProBox TV. Download the ProBox TV app. Never fall behind with your boxing news. Well, Jared Anderson flattened by Martin Bakole August 3rd at the big LA card put on by Turki Al-Sheikh. It shows that sometimes taking the money isn't the best way to go. Bob Arum saying, well, it wasn't us. People blamed us and our matchmaking here at Top Rank. That was not the case. That Turki Al-Sheikh went directly to Jared Anderson, offered him the money. Jared Anderson couldn't say no and got the first loss via knockout of his career. So I have the minds to help me break it down. Jimmy Smith in studio alongside the champs, Chris Algieri, Showtime, Sean Porter. Chris, this idea of you call him the Bob father, saying, hey, it wasn't me, it was the money. These young guys are taking the big money. He wasn't supposed to take that fight. Wasn't a good fight for him against a very hard puncher. What's your thought on this? How much responsibility goes to Top Rank, who could have gone to court to stop him?
So Bob Arum and Top Rank, I think, are the best builders of prospects and champions in the game. They pretty much, Bob wrote the book on how to do this. And, you know, the matchmakers that they have been in this game for decades, 40, 50 years. They know what they're looking at. But at the same time, Bob is not going to step in and have an injunction so this kid is not going to see the kind of money that wasn't being offered to him by any means. Jared went for the money. You know, he saw those dollars. He saw it was. You know, listen, it was a lot of money. You know, and he never was flashed any kind of money like that. He said, "Show me the money." Turki showed him. He said, "All right, I'm signing that dotted line." And listen, Bob could have stepped in, but listen, it's not necessarily life-changing money, but it's life-changing money. And so Jared went for that. Bob didn't want to step in, and I mean, it did ruin his investment to a degree. But they made money. He got out there, got exposed a little bit, and there's going to be a rebuilding process, and it's going to cost Bob more money to do that. But again, I respect Bob for not stepping in and allowing this to happen, allowing the young man Jared Anderson to make decisions, take control of his own career. Obviously, it wasn't what was advised to him, I'm sure, because Bakole and Bob was saying that Bakole knew he was a big puncher. He had never faced a guy like that. It was a very, very tough fight. They still expected him to win, but he didn't. And now there's going to be a rebuilding process. But at the end of the day, you know, it was a smash and grab job by Jared Anderson rather than taking the long money and respecting and understanding that there's a plan laid out for him. But listen, he learned a lesson. He got more money in his bank account, but he's got to rebuild now.
The question, Showtime, for you. You were a decorated amateur. You came in with some pretty good hype into your pro career, managed and trained by your father. This idea of, as Christian said, long-term thinking versus short-term thinking. Were you ever offered maybe a big fight early that you didn't know if you should take, big money, but were you ever in that situation?
I don't know if I was ever in that particular situation. I know that the money was never there for me the way that it was for Jared Anderson in this fight here. But this was one of the things that my dad would continue to tell me about. This is why fighters need managers. Fighters think with a fighter's brain, and a manager thinks with a manager's brain. A fighter will look at any other opponent and say, I'll beat him. And managers always, or should always, know the right way to move the fighter. I think in this position, I think obviously we see that Jared got a little ahead of himself. But listen, after you get past the business portion of this fight and you just speak about the fight specifically, I think that we could see that Jared not only was over his head in terms of getting in the ring with someone who was just as physical, just as big, just as long, and things of that nature, something that he had not seen as a professional athlete. And furthermore, this guy was a real man. And this is what I said before the fight. You're getting in the ring with a man that's your size. You're not getting in the ring with someone your age that's your size. And what I mean by that is you could see that Bakole has his man strength, and that overpowered and overtrumped everything that Jared had. But you could also see that Jared came into the ring with a bad game plan, if any at all. The game plan to stand right there in the reach of Bakole was just not the right decision or the right game plan for him and his team to come into the ring with. I know they came into the ring with Sugar Hill, and he said, hey, this was the move for this fight, not for every fight moving forward. So I don't know if Sugar Hill has something to do with that game plan. I really can't imagine that he did. I think that this was more so Jared Anderson outside of the ring, working on his own devices, and then getting in the ring and working on his own devices in the ring. And I think that that is ultimately what led to his demise in his fight here. Coming back, you got to get back on the top rank train, as my colleague Chris just said there. He's right. Top rank knows how to build fighters. Top rank knows how to systematically keep a fighter safe and get the fighter to the ultimate prize. It may take some time. You gotta have some patience getting there, but you will eventually get there. My what I would say to Jared is get back on the top rank system and ride that system, because it'll take him where he needs to go. Outside of that, man, too young to make his own decisions both in and out of the ring. You have to mature into making some of these types of decisions, and he hasn't. We can see that he hasn't matured into the decision that he made, and ultimately he paid the price.
Well, when you look at Top Rank's schedule, they have cards coming up November 9th and December 7th. Anderson not on either card. When you talk about he's going to have to be rebuilt, Chris, what's the timing on something like that? I know it's individual to the fighter, but the loss was in August. Do you err on the side of, hey, get back in there, eliminate that loss with another win, or do you take a lot of months getting this guy ready? But out of sight is out of mind. What's your thought about it?
I think it depends on the athlete themselves, and we're talking about this particular athlete, Jared Anderson, get him back as soon as possible. Time outside of the ring leads to Jared getting in trouble. It's happened multiple times in the past couple of years. You got to get him back in the gym. You got to get him back trained. You got to get him back focused. And hopefully he's got a different kind of approach now to this game. You know, he felt defeat for the first time. He was in there with someone that his athleticism, his physicality couldn't overtake. So now he's got to go back to the drawing board. He's got to really work on his craft. Listen, Sean, he was making a lot of the same mistakes in this fight against Bakole that he was with guys in the past, you know, with Charles Martin, the other European fighter that he fought, pulling straight back with the hands down. It worked with those other guys. Did not work against Bakole. He's got a long reach, he's got big power, and the guy held his position very, very well. So it's not so much as the game plan as much as you got homework to do. So hopefully he takes this loss and this newfound money in his bank account. He can relax a little bit in terms of his life and his lifestyle, and he can focus on getting in the gym. But Jimmy, in answer to your question, I think it's probably best to get him back as soon as possible.
I'll go quick on this, because when I turned pro, I think my first year as a professional, I fought 10, if not 11 times. You guys can go take a look at my box rec, and then I continued on with that same sort of game plan as I went through my career. You keep fighters in training camps.
Yep.
That keeps them away from any outside noise, any outside distractions. You get them in a fight, that's their goal. You get them, the more you keep a fighter focused on their goal, the further you keep them away from any outside distractions, noise, things of that nature. So when you have a fighter that's coming off of a big loss, the way that Jared did, you give him time to recover. You don't give him time to have fun. Give them time to recover, and I want to be respectful to any fighter and whatever they decide to do with life. But I'm telling you guys, in boxing, the closer you can keep a fighter to their goal, the further away you can keep them away from any outside distractions and things of that nature, and the better they will be in performance in the ring.
Well, from October 2008 to November 2009, my friend, you fought 11 times. So you were spot on about that, 11 times in roughly your first year. That is an incredible schedule. So will Anderson come back? How will he come back? Only Top Rank and the Bob Father know the answer to that question. As soon as it comes out, it'll make boxing news, and we'll have it right here on ProBox TV. Get ready for Ireland on November 1st.
November 1st, ProBox TV makes its European debut in collaboration with Conlan Boxing. This stacked card starts with hometown fighter Padraig the Hammer McCrory returning to the ring to take on the hard-hitting Colombian Leonard Carrillo. And in the co-main, the UK's Robbie Davies Jr. clashes with former two-weight world champ Javier Fortuna of the Dominican Republic. Live from the SSE Arena in Belfast, Northern Ireland.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.